Hello, little cheese biscuits. Daniel here. Welcome back to Functional, the Aftershot, the show where we talk about everything functional. And this week's episode. This week we got two extra special guests, Miss Demeé Pilar and Inés Ware. Welcome back to Functional, the Aftershot. I have two amazing guests. I think I'm about to have a heart attack. I got Miss Demeé over here, who plays Jenny, and I'm going to call you Sheila. Miss Inés, who plays Sheila. How are you guys?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you. Well, let's talk about what happened. This one was an interesting episode. We actually finally see Guillermo and Sheila interact, which up until now, there's just like bickering back and forth, but we never really see them interact until now. Before we dive into the episode, whose side are you guys on? Guillermo's or Jasmine's? Or Sheila's, I mean.
Do you want to go first? Sure.
I'm on Sheila's side because, not to be biased, but Sheila is really trying to get some shit done. And she has Jasmine's best interest in mind. And Guillermo is like on one, so.
Trying to have fun.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I'm on your side.
Oh,
basically, I'm on, and the reason why I feel like friends are ride or die, bros before.
Homewreckers.
So.
On that note,
No,
Inés, it was so nice to see
Who's
you.
the home
Please
wrecker,
leave.
though? Who's the home wrecker, though?
Actually, backing up a little bit, before the episode, we start off with Jasmine going off on this rant at the truck. I don't know if any of the viewers caught this, but she's ranting about the soap opera called Las Supervillanas. So, I don't know. I thought it was funny. I really hope everyone else got it. But anyways, in this situation, kind of Guillermo interjected himself into, he just dropped by his friend's house to hang out, but Jasmine already made plans with this girl named Sheila. Like, who the hell cares? So what does Jasmine do? Instead of just choosing one over the other, she actually invites both over to hang out with her. So, which was a nice gesture on her part, but then we see a lot of stuff unfold. As the episode progresses, we kind of just see that there's maybe some differences that Guillermo does not understand about, it's like he wants to go to this First Friday, which in Denver we have a place called First Friday at Tracks, where it's always ladies' nights, but I always found it very fun. But he just was kind of missing the point in that aspect. Is there something that you guys normally see when it comes to queer people as far as something that maybe gay men don't understand for safe spaces for queer women that you guys have experienced before?
Should I go first? Go ahead. Okay. So I feel like, especially examples of West Hollywood, can I use that as an example? I love going to a club called Thirst on Saturdays, but the issue is it's only on Saturdays, and then lesbian nights on Wednesdays. So then it kind of puts it in a situation where it's like, I feel like gay men have Flaming Saddles, the Abbey, they have like all these places there that cater to them, not in a bad way, because I'm glad we all have our own space, but I do sometimes feel that, like, in terms of, like, I was on your side in the fact that, hey, this is just a ladies' night, because especially when I came out, and especially around the time where I was like really dating and going out, I was trying to find a good place to be or a good place to go, and it was so hard to find a lesbian like club that was, especially a black lesbian club too. I think there's like a lot of, or for minorities, and it's just kind of like, I think that was the point that was trying to be made in the scene, like, hey, so I understand you want to come, I'm not trying to exclude you, but this is for women. Like, we need our own space, we need our own time. So that's the one thing I probably would separate from,
Yeah.
But that's how I would feel about that.
Yeah, because it's kind of like there's a men's club and then there's a woman's club.
Yeah.
And then when we have even gay pride events, like gay is a blanket statement, right? Mm-hmm. And so with gay, it's like, women and men, trans, it's just like a blanket statement. But when you have like a club that's dedicated to women, and then you have men come in, it's like kind of like a overtaken, and then lesbians are kind of like, I'm here for women though, where are the women, So I love when I can find a club where it's just a mixture of gay men and lesbians, and then it's just like, okay, all the women here, you know, are LGBT. All the men here, you know, are LGBT, because it's kind of like, are you straight and you're here and you're just trying to have a good time?
Yeah.
Or
it's
what's
like go
the
to a straight club
situation?
if you want to have a good time.
Right. So it's kind of like when you go to the Abbey as a lesbian, and it's just like men here, it's just kind of like, okay, I'm here to have a good time, but sometimes I want to find a little situation, you know?
You go across the street to 30.
Just like, we're all a big family and we're all here in this space having a good time.
And please understand that it's not like, oh no, gay men can't be here. No, I love being around gay men. My girlfriend and I constantly have this conversation that gay men are so honest. They're not going to talk shit about you behind your back. They'll say that shit to your face.
Oh my
in a
God.
joke, in a
Okay.
joke.
I don't do that.
Being around gay men, like, it's just so refreshing because they'll be real with you, you know, in a good way. In the way, like, having that, not always feminine quality, because there's different types of gay men, but it's just like that best friend that doesn't want to fuck you, but you can still talk to them about anything and they'll be honest with you. When you think of West Hollywood, I literally think you think of gay men.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think of all, like, not even lesbian, trans, anything. Like,
Because that's what it is,
men,
honestly.
yeah.
And there's like 1 or 2 clubs for lesbians.
Yeah.
So I think in this scene, Sheila was really getting at, like, let us have this safe space. Like, we're here to have this safe space. First Fridays for lesbians, you know? So if we have a lot of, you know, gay men coming in, that it might be, I think lesbians are so protective of their safe spaces.
Yeah.
So when a couple gay men come, it's like, it might be turned into a gay man situation. And it's like, can I have a situation where it's just like women so I can do my thing, you know?
We'll switch gears a little bit. So one thing, and then with the same episode too, which actually this happened, Liz actually, I don't know if you remember this, like right before we were going to shoot this, she brought this up, and I just want to know your guys' input. She personally did feel that, you know, she's like, I don't like the word lesbian, or, you know, like, I like the word queer, because queer is more uniform. So in the episode, we do see Jasmine kind of bring that up with the queer women, queer men, and then Guillermo kind of following suit. Then we see that in the next scene, bringing Guillermo talking about, we don't understand why queer isn't a unifying word. And for some reason in the media we see there's always lesbians, there's always gays, they do not come together. How do you guys see that, I guess, what from media portrays about that connection, and also the words that we use to identify ourselves?
So personally, I feel that queer can be a unifying word, but when you specifically focus on queer, there's LGBTQIA+. When you're specifically focusing on the Q, as in queer, that's another situation, but also queer can be a blanket statement. But I also feel like gay can be a blanket statement as well. So personally, I identify with gay as a blanket statement. Specifically, I'm a lesbian, but I can see why people would say I'm queer. But when you focus it on queer, that's specifically, you know, what that means to that person who identifies with queer. But personally, I identify with gay and lesbian. Just gay is a blanket statement. As just, you know, as the world, when they say, oh, you're gay, like, yeah, I am, you know. Specifically, I'm a lesbian.
It's interchangeable between us, but not gay men, which I noticed too.
Right,
like,
because
you can't say I'm a lesbian, but we can say we're gay. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
There's too many. I identify as bisexual, but I prefer being with women, and but I feel like the labels are so overcomplicated sometimes, that so many people are so focused on the label that even when I identified as bisexual, I was just like, oh, does this mean I just date women? Am I really bisexual if I just date women? Am I a lesbian? Am I queer? Like, I'm open to dating trans, or I'm open to dating this and that, you know, when I was single. So for me, labels, I sometimes now think about it as I just connect, and I just happen to connect with female more. You know, you don't name it. I could say lesbian, but it's just more like, if I'm a really anxious person, so I don't put a label on it. So just to make it more like, this is who I am.
Yeah.
That's all. I'm just me. Yeah. You know, my girlfriend, even she goes queer. She calls herself queer. That's what she does. Because she doesn't like some people are like, are you a stud? Are you a lesbian? Are you this? She's like, I'm queer. I'm me. You know? And that's kind of what I learned from her.
Yeah.
And it just comes down to that. It's like a lot of people, like, we live in a day where it's like, give me a label so I can understand. But
Exactly.
no one
That
understands.
part.
It's like,
That's a
I
whole
don't
other
understand, so
situation.
let me know. But
Yeah.
the thing that I love about this episode, it's just a conversation starter. It's like you can't fit so much in like an 8-minute episode that it was just like what I like kind of anchoring it back to it, where it's like there's just so much stuff that from the outside looking in, people don't really understand. So there you see, we have 3 people in the mix where Guillermo doesn't understand. He just wants to have a good time, you know. But it's like you're invading a safe space. Then we have a character like Jasmine, who's like, I'm not fully out, but I want to be labeled as queer. Maybe a lot of people outside, I don't want to be labeled like that, or I want to know what you are, you know. So there's always this open conversation that for some reason we're not really going to find that end result, unfortunately, unless you talk to your partner, talk to your friends on how you prefer it, and, you know, just hope that the rest of the world understands, which we know sometimes isn't going to be the case. Then we shift into a part in the episode where they're just kind of talking about why don't queer men and queer women get along together. It's like we see this, and then we were talking about this before. We see this in the media where it's like it's always, you know, like lesbian men. Sorry, lesbian men. Lesbian men. I created
That
a
will
new
be a
term.
straight man.
But no, we see like gay men and lesbian women in the media that they do not connect whatsoever. Personally, all my best friends are queer women. And then I think you guys kind of said the same thing about that. But in the media, compared to like when it comes to maybe a different race media, you always see there's always a separation. Why do you see that's a thing?
Through race? You said through race?
In the different race genre of white people, you always do see that whole like, you know, men and women do not get along. But like in my life, that's never been the case. So I just don't know your guys' connection with that's kind of what we see in functional. We see a queer woman and a queer man, they're best friends, but this is normally you don't see that.
Yeah, I don't know who writes these shows. I don't know if it's actual gay people, but I always see straight women and gay men. Always, like the gay man being the girl, get your life together kind of thing, like with straight women. But in real life, like one of my girlfriend's best friends is a gay man. You know, my friend JJ, like I love him so much. Him and I like this, and he's gay and I'm gay. So we call each other BB and CC. So we get along like that. We're super close. So then it's just kind of like, I don't know where that stigma comes from. You know, I don't know what's pitting us against each other, or in terms of in the media or anything like that. But I know so many gay women who are friends with gay men. So I don't know where that stigma comes from, because throughout my life, I've always gotten along with gay men very well.
Yeah, I don't know where that stigma comes from either, because I feel like my favorite friends are gay men as a lesbian.
And it feels like
So-
you can be comfortable too, because
Exactly.
it's just like, isn't a guy trying to like be friends with you for ulterior motives?
Exactly.
And we're not trying to hit on them, you know. So it's just
They're
kind
not
of
trying
like,
to hit on us.
all
right.
there is that friendship. All there
Yeah.
is that like, you know. So it's just like, bitch, I'm
Hollywood,
telling you.
if you're watching this.
Yo.
It's not a thing.
Well, we're breaking barriers here at Functional. Ending the episode, we kind of end on a interesting note. Then we get past these barriers and go back to Sheila and Guillermo going at it again. We see this little interaction on the hammock where Guillermo's grilling Sheila, and Sheila's just, you know, being her Sheila self. You know. Jasmine is oblivious to all of this, which is very interesting, but you definitely can see that there's some tension, and I don't know if there's going to be an interaction later on, but I'm excited to see this. I'm living for that drama. And then we end with a bombshell. What does Sheila propose to Jasmine?
So Sheila wants to take it a step further, and she wants to know if Jasmine is interested in actually living
The
together.
fuck? Where are y'all gonna live?
Well, you just have to see where they are planning on living together.
I don't know. We end on a bombshell. I'm super excited for it. Have you ever proposed to someone to move in when you have a family?
I'm a lesbian. Like, of course, on the second date, it's the
U-Haul.
U-Haul. You bring the U-Haul, or like, okay, the first date was great. You ready?
Yes. I can't even talk because I moved in. We moved in 8 months in, and it's going great.
8 months, that's it?
Yeah, no, yes, no. But it clicked, so I don't know if I'm like helping you.
No. In Sheila's defense, she did wait a couple. It's like been off and on.
But
So.
she has a family, so I don't know what that means.
Okay, let's not act like lesbians, especially studs, don't like to play stud daddy, okay? So
in this case, we're saying that Sheila is the stud daddy, or is
no, Jasmine was
Jasmine
the
has
stud
to.
daddy.
So Sheila's grooming.
No,
Jasmine
I
to
feel
be
like
stud. There we go.
Exactly, she's grooming her.
Jasmine seems like she's the stud daddy, but you come in quick with the switch.
I'm not
you know?
familiar with these terms.
That's
Oh,
true because Sheila is the OG lesbian, so she
Yeah.
might be, the dominant one. Low key, high key. Low
But who
key.
knows? That's
Yeah.
none of our business
Yeah.
because it's not our relationship.
You're right. I'm a stud.
Well, anyways, if you guys are watching, this is definitely a very open conversation. So if you guys are watching this, let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for all your input about it, because I mean, this is just something that we're never gonna find the bottom of it unless we talk about it. Tops, bottoms, femmes, bitch, stud, queens, whatever. We love y'all. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Where can we find y'all on the social media webs, Demi?
You can find me on Instagram at Demeé Pilar and Twitter at Demeé Pilar.
And you can find me at Queen Nesser TD. I'm sure you can put it in the comments.
Right there. Oh, and finally, if you guys love this shirt, we got some amazing functional merchandise. Link will be in the bio. Buy it, support it. And it's also been designed by an amazing artist, Leroy Luna. No connection.
Yeah.
Anyways, at the end of the episode, we like to take a shot, which I prepared for y'all, a watermelon rum shooter.
Oh, it's
Oh, and it's
When did this happen?
fresh.
Oh no,
Hello.
he did it right in front of us earlier. I loved it. I was like,
I
that's
didn't
ours.
see it.
Oh my gosh, it was dope. He used
Okay.
this.
Oh yeah, actually this was used by this amazing brand that is essentially shown here in Los Angeles, California. You can find it in Moquete Dominguero, so shout out to them. Cheers you guys, and thank you guys so much for being here as part of another functional after shot.
Cheers. Oh,
This is delicious. Thank you guys back home for watching. We have a few more episodes left this season. And please like and subscribe. Let us know what you think, and we will see you next week on Functional the After Shot.
Bye.